I've got the top 40 index behind me, and as you can see, only 3 unlucky stocks today. Old Mutual in the negative, down 0.4%. Renate Investments down 0.4%. Capital Shopping Centres also down around 1.2%, and everything else in green. So a positive day. It is the last day of August. Take us through the day that was. 13.6 billion rand passing through the market.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of risk appetite has come back into the market. It's been a very interesting 2 weeks, I think. 2 weeks ago, the world was about to end. And now the Fed say they're going to try and do anything possible, whether it's QE3 or not. They're going to try and do anything possible to reinflate this.
So the end of the world is off the agenda officially.
Apparently the world's not going to end anymore. And yeah, it's very nice to see us end the month on a positive day.
Okay, well, let's just delve into some of the resource stocks. And as you can see here, we've got Harmony up 2%, Anglo Plat up 2.6%, BHP gaining around 2.4%. Strong performance all round, diversifieds and the gold stocks, Kumba gaining 4%. Can we maintain these kind of levels, or can we expect some kind of profit taking in tomorrow's session?
I would expect to see a bit of profit taking. I think Monday was a very strong up day as well. So they have lifted off the lows of a week ago. Yeah. So I'd expect to see some profit taking. I think the diversified miners in particular, they're the flavour of the day. We saw African Rainbow Minerals results come out. Although they're below expectations, I think they're still a very good set of results. So it's not surprising to see it up 5%. But no, I think we could be in line for a bit of profit taking over the next couple of days.
Also up around 4%. And then just delving into the industrial space, I mean, Bidvest up 4.5%. It was basically in negative territory, slightly flat yesterday. Massmart up 1.3%. MTN gaining 3% as well. Naspers was quite interesting today. It was up 3%. And of course, we saw some positive numbers out of its Russian subsidiary, Mail.ru, where we saw profits increasing by around 115%.
Yeah, Mail.ru and Tencent seem to be all the fuss about Naspers at the moment. We think Naspers looks fairly expensive if you look at it through on a cyclically adjusted P ratio. It's probably one of the most expensive shares in the market from a value perspective. So if you believe the growth story there, if China can continue on their 8-9% growth going forward, you know, maybe
we're waiting
Naspers
for bated breath for that, of course.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think obviously a lot depends on Friday's number coming out of the States as well.
Well, let's touch on the US economy at this stage. We had ADP numbers coming in showing, you know, the private sector added around 91,000 jobs. People were hoping for around 100,000 jobs. How much really hinges on the US economy? Because we've been beating on this drum for quite some time. Is there going to be a double dip or not? And will the Fed come in and stimulate once again?
I think the Fed are going to try and do anything that they can to stimulate the economy. I think that could be a mistake. I don't think it would be a good idea to see QE3. I think that would be a short-term solution to what is a long-term problem. You need fiscal austerity or fiscal plan going forward to try and sort out the US. China's growth, China can't continue to grow without the US and Europe. They can build highways to nowhere for so long. Unfortunately, without the developed markets, you won't see China repeat those numbers that we've seen over the last couple of years.
Because you need demand for their goods,
exactly. They're exporting their goods. That's it. At the moment, they've built these towns, they've built these freeways that aren't being used. It's not the domestic consumer in China that is actually pushing this growth. It's rather the developed markets and demand that has been coming from them.
So are you convinced that we are going to be headed for some trouble going forward, Andrew? What is the sense that you're giving me?
We like to say that we don't forecast at all. I think there's probably a better than 50% chance of a double dip recession coming in the States. So I think we could be in for a bit of a rocky ride over the medium term.
Well, speaking of rocky rides, Marion Roberts out with results today. Full year loss came to the fore, but revenue was up 10%, and the company does say that they hope that they can return to acceptable profitability in the year ahead. But that hinges on the real economy and the order book, of course.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I know those numbers came out late this afternoon. I just had a very brief glimpse at them. I didn't even have 2 minutes to look over them, so I can't comment too much. I see they did pass their dividend. I don't think there was anything unexpected there. We saw them make a full year loss. Construction companies, as you know, is a space that we've liked for some time. We've probably been too early. And looking at the other construction results, Group 5 recently, they said this recovery is going to take a lot longer than what they initially anticipated. Likewise, what we initially anticipated. So I think only by 2013 are you going to see these construction companies actually pick up. They do look very attractive, though, from a valuation or from a value manager's perspective. You
did say you got into the construction space far too early, or slightly too early. Beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken?
Beginning of last year.
Beginning of last year.
We've been overweight construction, so I guess you could probably say we're a little bit early. But yeah, we still hold the position.
Marion Roberts, was that one of your preferred picks?
No, we don't hold Marion Roberts. Group 5 and Avenge are
I'd like to delve into the financial space, and it's right there, as you can see. Absa strong today, 2.8% to the good. We had Nedbank, which was down around 3% yesterday. I know recovering some ground in today's session as well. It's up around 0.9%. We saw the banks coming under significant pressure yesterday. Many said it was because of the GDP growth number that we saw. What is your sense? Double-digit growth for banks or not?
Well, again, I think that's anyone's guess. I think the banks at the moment, all four of them, specifically Nedbank, FirstRand and Standard Bank, do look quite attractive. I think you could see some nice growth coming out of them. Absa is probably the one that looks slightly more expensive than the other three. Surprisingly, it's up almost 4% today compared to the rest. But I think the banks...
Nedbank is your preferred pick?
Nedbank's our preferred pick. It's done very well. It's been a top-performing bank of the top four, if you can exclude Capitec there. So it has been a very good performer for us. There's not much to pick at the moment, I think, between the big four banks.
What's also fascinating, Abel, was up slightly yesterday and in a sea of red within the financial space, and it's up 4.5% or 4.25% today. That's quite a strong move to the upside.
That is a very big move. I'm not quite sure what happened there. We don't follow Abel at all. We don't hold Abel, or we do follow it, but we don't hold it, so I don't watch it that closely. So I can't comment on that 4.5% increase today.
You wish you were holding it today.
I wish we were holding it today.